Good afternoon, and welcome to the Intermittent Theater Company's production of Carl Flunt Will Protect You from Trucks. The performances this weekend are the world premiere of the one-act version of this comedy, written by Scott Mullen. This production is a staged virtual table read, where the actors focus on the characters and acting, as opposed to a full production involving costumes, sets, and props. Coming up next for the ITC is Women in Wallace, another one-act play, which will be performed February 20th and 21st. And in March, you can join us for a collection of 4 10-minute plays about pets, which ITC is calling Dramatic Pause. Those will be happening on March 27th and 28th. Stick around after the show for a talk back with the writer, actors, and director, where we'll take your questions via the chat function on the streaming page. And now, please enjoy the Intermittent Theater Company's presentation of Carl Flunt Will Protect You from Trucks.
Hi.
Hi, Elizabeth, right?
Just Beth. Do I know you?
Yes, you do.
Are you a friend of my mom's?
I'm you
What?
from the future.
No.
And yet, here I am.
This is weird. I need to go home.
I found you because you come here all the time after school, just for the quiet and the shade. Plus, sometimes after soccer practice, Tommy Andrews walks by. You're too shy to talk to him, but sometimes he smiles.
How do you know that?
Because I'm you. I sat here. I looked at Tommy Andrews a lot.
Take off your shoe.
What?
Your right shoe, or I'm leaving. Show me the bottom. If you're me, you'll have a scar and a birthmark. Oh my goodness.
Call me Liz.
When did I become a Liz?
Seriously? I was Beth, then Eliza, then Lizbeth, then Lizzie with a Y, then Lizzie with an IE, then Liz.
I look terrible.
Yeah, it's not working out. You need to make better choices.
Me?
Yeah, it's too late for me. That's why I'm here, to start over. You might want to start taking notes.
I'm not taking any notes.
At least mental notes. I need you to pay attention. Please, it's important.
Fine, say what you need to say.
First of all, Seth Gilbert.
Wait, is that what this is about? Boys? My life is not about boys.
Good. That's a great attitude. Embrace that. And we'll get to the other stuff eventually, but first, Seth Gilbert. Write his name on your brain. If you hear it, you run. It won't be for a while, but it's so important. Seth Gilbert. Run. Say it.
Seth Gilbert, run.
Or you could kick him in the crotch if the opportunity presents itself. Just saying.
I'm leaving.
No, I need to tell you about all the other guys you need to avoid.
Seriously?
This is in the order of when it happened, as close as I can remember. Just say no to all of them. Mike Squires.
Ew, no.
He gets cute, but yeah, avoid him. Johnny Rupp, Eddie Franco, Todd Kramer, Miles Henderson, Jordan Melman, Ricky Dietz.
I'm going to date all of those guys.
No, you are going to avoid all of these guys. Norman Hertzfeld, Harry Johnstone, some guy named Ramon with the Lamborghini.
You dated a guy whose last name you didn't know?
It was a Lamborghini.
Seriously?
Can I continue?
No! Why can't I make my own bad choices?
Because they affect my life.
That sounds a little selfish. What about my needs?
I'm you.
I'm never going to remember all of these names.
Just take the whole list.
Did you really kiss all of these guys?
I did.
Ew, that's a lot of frogs.
It really was.
And no prince.
No.
What about Tommy Andrews?
Way out of our league.
What happens to him?
No idea.
So, who should I go out with?
That's why I'm here. It's really important. You need to trust me on this. Ready? Carl Flunt.
Carl Flunt? No. No, no, no.
He's going to get really rich.
I don't care about that.
Really, really rich.
There's nothing interesting about Carl Flunt. I could never see myself loving Carl Flunt.
Love? Forget about love. Love is a trap. Love doesn't exist. Go for the cash. This is why I came back. You need to snap up Carl Flunt. He likes us.
Carl Flunt is weird. And not weird in a smart nerd way. I like smart nerds. He's weird in a weird way.
Look, if you avoid all the boys on that list, maybe it'll make me an emotionally healthy person who's ready for love when it comes along. But it would be so much easier if you just married Carl Flunt. Not now, like in 8 or 9 years, before he meets Marianne Flugel.
I'm not marrying Carl Flunt. Tell me about the other stuff. Do you have a job?
I work for Crinotech in HR.
What's that mean?
I deal with employee stuff.
Really? That makes you happy?
No, that's why I came back here in one of their time machines, secretly.
Didn't I go to college?
You did. Waste of time.
So what am I supposed to do?
Marry Carl Flunt.
No, for a career, for a life, to be happy. Isn't that important?
I guess. Fine. What do you want to do? What are you passionate about?
You don't remember?
It's all a blur.
How can it be a blur? You're only, what, 40?
Hey, I'm 27.
What? I'm going to look that old that fast?
Don't blame me, blame you.
Do you smoke, drink?
Yeah,
Stop doing both of those things.
you stop doing it.
I'm not smoking or drinking.
You will.
How did I become you? I don't want to be you.
Good, good. Who do you want to be?
I want to write.
No, that sounds boring. We'll be poor.
It's not all about money.
Sure, you say that now. Mom and Dad are paying the rent. That won't last. Do you like ramen?
Not really.
Being poor means eating ramen. You want to write? Marry Carl Flunt. Then we can sit home all day and write, and we'll have a cook, and they can cook us whatever we want.
No, I'm not marrying Carl Flunt.
Don't make me punch you.
You're making me sad. Maybe I'll become a nun.
No, don't do that.
Forget it. It's done. I'm a nun. Whoa.
Hey, my name is Sister Betty. You want to see my foot?
It's us.
This is impossible.
I'm from the future timeline in which you become a nun. This is a real turning point in our life. Choices will be made today which decide which future is real and which collapses.
Are you happy being a nun?
It's not about being happy, but I'm content.
I want to be happy.
It's a good life. We have butterflies in the garden.
There must be other choices.
Carl Flunt.
No, I'm not going to marry Carl Flunt. I'm going to be a writer. Where's the me from that future? I want to be a writer. Come out and talk to me.
Maybe writer you gets hit by a truck.
No,
Carl Flunt would protect you from trucks.
enough with Carl Flunt.
In the garden, there's a little squirrel that comes out, and I feed it nuts.
Okay, she's high.
Oh, high on life and God. And some Pepsi I drank in the time machine. I'm buzzed on sugar.
Is this who you want to be?
Wait, how did you get back here? This me works for some time machine company and stole a ride or something.
You need to pause to let me into the room. He's on the list.
But you're a nun.
Oh, well, the convent has a time machine. We use it for fighting Satan.
Whoa, that's kind of cool. I could do that, maybe. Do you use nunchucks?
Oh, no, I don't fight Satan. That's Sister Bertha. She was an MMA fighter before she came to God. She does have a class in punching and kicking, but I don't know. It just seems like it hurts.
So why are you here?
Oh, well, you left me a note. You wrote it on the back of a list of boys we never fooled around with. Dear future me who is a nun, someday come back to the day the other future me showed up, show me your foot, and tell me how the nun thing worked out. It worked out pretty well.
Look, maybe writer me is so happy in the future that they didn't want to come back.
You'd think they'd want to come back and tell you.
Or maybe they don't have a time machine.
That's plausible.
Sometimes ducks land in the lily pond behind the convent.
I've decided. I'm not going to be a nun. I'm not going to marry Carl Flunt.
Mistake.
I'm going to be a writer, even if it means I get hit by a truck. Though, if it makes you feel better, I'm not going to date any of these guys.
Yeah, well, maybe you want to rethink that.
What?
Well, it got a little lonely turning down everyone. I've still never been kissed.
Well, that's no good. Pick 3 guys from this list. Nice guys with soft lips.
I'm telling you, it's Carl Flunt.
It go.
Fine. Johnny, Jordan, and Ricky.
Maybe I'll say hi to Tommy Andrews next time he walks by.
I told you, he's out of our league.
Did you ever try?
No.
Exactly. Maybe if I talk to him, it'll be a good thing. It'll be a great thing. It'll change everything. Where's the me married to Tommy? Come out. I don't care. I'm going to find Tommy Andrews and we're going to chat. So I'm going now into my future. I guess you'll both just vanish or something?
I guess.
Probably.
Sorry, but I'll try to make it all work, and it's been real.
We're still here.
I guess changing your future takes a while. I'm sure we'll vanish any second. Any second. I guess we get to hang out.
What do you want to do?
Let's find Carl Flunt. There he is. Carl Flunt.
He doesn't look weird.
You don't remember him at all?
Not really. He's not bad looking.
Ew, you're supposed to be me. We're supposed to have the same taste.
Well, I have been in a convent. There aren't any men there.
Ah, say no more.
Except Juan Carlo. He comes once a month to trim the hedges. And sometimes, when it's hot out, he takes off his shirt.
Well, look at you. Did you ever, behind the hedges?
With Juan Carlo?
Yes, with Juan Carlo.
Absolutely not. That would be a sin.
Depends if you're doing it right.
Oh, he would never. He's married.
Oh, sister, not a deal breaker.
He has 5 children.
Okay, maybe you shouldn't mess with him.
11 grandchildren.
Wait, what?
14 great-grandchildren.
How old is Juan Carlo?
I believe he's 87.
87.
Yes.
Why are you looking at him with his shirt off?
I'm in a convent.
So Carl Flunt looks pretty good.
I may not be a very good judge of men anymore.
Maybe if we clean him up, Some nice clothes, better haircut.
I could see that. Or get him to grow it out so I can run my fingers through it. It's been a long time.
You better let me take the lead here.
How does he get rich?
Some computer tech company thing, I don't know, but he's going to be loaded. Hey, Carl. I'm not sure how long we're going to be around, so I'm going to cut to the chase. There's a girl named Beth Morgan. I think you two would really hit it off.
Beth Morgan?
Yes,
I don't know her.
you do. She's in your school.
What does she look like?
Sort of like me, but about 10 years younger.
So she's like 30?
I am not 40 years old.
Is she a teacher? You want me to go out with a teacher?
She's not a teacher. She's a girl, your age, maybe a little younger.
I don't know her.
I think you'd be really good together.
Does she like microwave ovens?
What?
I'm really getting into microwave ovens. Taking them apart, putting them back together again, trying to make them cook even faster. Wouldn't it be amazing to be able to put something in there, press a button, instantly hot? No waiting.
You can't wait a minute?
Time is money. It's gonna be huge.
I don't think instant microwave ovens is how you make your fortune.
Don't tell anyone. It's top secret.
Trust me when I tell you, it's not always about speed, especially with the ladies.
Ah!
What?
There's a nun watching us.
Oh, yeah, she's with me.
Nuns terrify me.
Seriously?
Don't let her hurt me.
I mean you no harm. It's okay.
Your eyes are kind.
I can see you are a gentle soul.
Can I touch you?
Certainly.
No, no touching.
Well, it's good that he wants to touch me, given the situation.
What situation?
Why do you want him to touch you?
It's been a long time.
He's not for you, at least not for none you.
Party pooper.
What's going on?
When was the last time you went to church?
It's been a while.
We are not doing this now.
A little spirituality might help him be a better man. For us.
I don't want him to be a priest. I just want him to shower more often.
I shower.
Listen, I need you to ask out Beth Morgan. You need to take her someplace nice. You need to woo her. Here's $50.
Are you bribing him to take her out?
I'm just subsidizing the date. There's more where this came from if you behave yourself.
More where that came from. We could vanish at any second.
Shh.
What do you mean, behave myself? What can I do? Does she put out?
No, she does not put out.
Oh, trust me, she'll put out way too much.
I've never put out in my life.
That's because you're virgin future. She's not picking virgin future.
She still might.
But she's not putting out with you. Get that out of your head right now. Putting out on the first date, or the second date, or the third date, it just caused problems.
How many dates do I have to wait?
Maybe you should be a gentleman. She might respect that.
Did you respect that?
You might have a point. Maybe you should wait until you're married.
Pass.
Seriously, you're going to be picky?
Hey, I date.
Come on.
Who are you people?
We're interested parties. Shut up. Now, here's the deal. She likes Italian food.
Oh, yeah.
Take Beth out to dinner, someplace with a nice lasagna. Maybe that place over near the freeway. What was that place called?
I don't think I ever went there.
Did anyone ever take you to dinner?
No,
We'll go there later if we're still around.
it's a date.
It's not a date. Don't make this weird. Now, this is what you need to do. Compliment Beth. Tell her she has nice eyes,
What color are her eyes?
just like mine.
So sort of muddy?
Try to be more poetic.
Tell her her eyes are like mysterious pools that you could fall into.
That's not bad.
Mysterious pools.
You might want to start writing this down.
I dream of Juan Carlos saying that to me.
You need to stop. Pay attention to Beth. See what she put on special for you. Is she wearing perfume?
Oh, I remember perfume.
Tell her she smells nice. If she's wearing her Doc Martens, tell her you love her shoes. Tell her you love her shoes anyway. Let her talk. Let her tell you about her life. Show an interest in what she's saying. Bring up grandparents. She'll tell you the story about Papa Dan, the one about the bear. She loves that story. She wants to be a writer. Encourage that. Tell her that when you get married, you'll let her write as much as she wants.
Married?
Yes. Pay attention.
Have you ever dated at all?
No, girls don't see me like that. I was hoping that one day when I'm rich and successful.
That's actually a pretty good strategy.
Yeah?
But we don't have time for that now. You need to seal the deal with Beth immediately. Set the groundwork for your whole future together while we're still around to advise you. I see great things for you, Carl Flunt. You're going to come up with something that makes you rich.
Microwaves.
No! Actually, don't listen to me. I don't want to push you in any way. I don't want to change that. You do your microwave things, see where it leads, because somewhere down the line, you're going to do something cool. Don't lose that. Don't babble about that too much. You don't want to bore Beth.
But don't I want a wife who won't be bored by what I do?
She's cute. She can cook a little bit.
That's not enough. I don't care about cute. I don't care about cooking. I want a wife who gets me, who takes an interest in what I do, encourages me.
Yes,
You think that's Beth?
sure. I'm interested. Why wouldn't she be?
You're easy. You haven't talked to a man in 10 years.
I think Beth will surprise you. Maybe you've lost that part of you, but Beth hasn't. Not yet. Take her out to dinner. Be yourself.
No.
Yes, completely yourself. Let her see it all. Because that's the only relationship, well, that's the only marriage that's ever going to work.
This is not the plan.
This should be the plan. Isn't that what you want for Beth? Happiness? Good choices?
I was thinking more like a BMW and a house on the beach.
Aim higher. Take Beth out to dinner. Be yourself, warts and all.
I don't have warts.
It's an expression.
Be you.
I don't know. I might scare her off.
Well, then be the you want to be.
You really think she'll like me? What if she doesn't see the potential?
She knows about the potential.
All we can do is try.
Listen, hypothetical question. Beth is walking in the middle of the road and
What?
Why would she be walking in the middle of the road?
I don't know. Maybe she's running over to see you. Maybe she's excited to see you.
That's nice.
But a truck is coming.
Oh no.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Would you save her from that truck? Would you lunge into the road and push her to safety, even if it might mean risking your own life?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I told her you would. That's something to build a relationship on.
Is it?
Well, there are worse things.
Come on, I know where she is. Let's get this done. Follow the dancing nun.
Well, this is awkward.
I'm not really a talker.
Okay.
I'm trying.
First thing on your mind, just ask.
Are those ladies your aunts or?
It's complicated.
Okay.
I'm not sure why they wanted us to come to the beach. I mean, it's nice and everything, looking out at the waves rolling in, but it's not much of a date.
Is it a date?
What did they tell you?
Well, I'm not sure.
I just agreed to do this because otherwise they said they'd follow me around all day.
I had a cousin who used to follow me around. He said he hoped I'd accidentally drop some money.
Do you drop a lot of money?
No. They wanted me to ask you to tell a story about your grandfather, Papa someone,
Papa Dan?
and a bear.
I don't think I'm going to tell that story.
No?
That's a story you tell to friends.
Oh,
We're not friends.
I know.
I hardly know you.
I hardly know you.
Do you want to be here?
I do.
Why?
I don't know. You seem interesting.
Do I?
You do.
But we're struggling to have a conversation.
I'm just bad at it. Sometimes at dinner with my family, no one will say a word the entire meal, just eating. I mean, I guess that's good because sometimes when people talk while they're eating, you can see the food and that's gross, but still. I wish sometimes my parents would ask me what I was thinking. I guess the problem was that I used to tell them and they'd have no idea what I was talking about, so just go back to eating.
What did you tell them?
Science stuff.
Ah,
Yeah.
but you did a good job there, talking. Say something else.
I think I'm empty.
Come on.
Used up all my conversation.
I don't believe you.
I've got nothing. You talk for a while.
That's not how conversations work. Conversations go back and forth, like the waves. There's a rhythm.
Waves are actually sort of random. They'll come in, you think it's steady, and then boom, a bigger wave.
Conversations too, I guess.
Maybe.
This is what we'll do. See that little girl over there running in and out of the water, having fun?
She is having fun.
Whenever she's in the water, I'll talk. But whenever she runs out of the water, you talk.
That's random.
Ready?
Okay.
So she's in the water, staying in the water. So I'm going to talk about the future. What would you do if you had some idea of what would happen in the future? What would you... Oh, she's running out. Go.
Can the future be changed? Oh, she's still out of the water. I mean, if the future can't be changed, who wants to know what's going on? I mean, talk about a spoiler alert. I want my life to live in the moment, but if the future could be changed and something bad is going to happen that can be avoided, then yeah, maybe, yeah, I would. She's in the water. Go.
I always thought things would happen on their own. I never thought I had to find my life. I thought my life would just find me. But now, I don't know. I mean, I want to write. I think I want to write. I get in these moods where I take a notebook and I just start writing and the stories fly out of me. I don't know where they come from. Maybe there's another me in another universe who's a really great writer, and sometimes her stories just leak over. Though I always thought that was silly, the idea that there are different versions of you. But now I think maybe there are, and that we do need to figure out which of those selves we need to be and get the courage to try and grab that future as hard as we can. So I've been thinking about a few possible futures, all the choices. And now I'm rambling. And why won't that little girl get out of the water? Hey, little girl, get out of the water.
She's running. You scared her.
She's laughing.
She is.
She's sitting on the sand. Your turn.
I think it's important to think about what you want to be and chase that future. I like to invent things. Someday I'm going to invent something amazing. But so far, all I've invented is stupid things. But if you told me 5 years ago that the next 10 things I invented would be dumb, I'd invent them anyway. Because every time I fail, I learn something. And someday, I'll meet a girl who can be excited about that for me. The good stuff and the stuff that sucks, but which we learn from. And I'll be excited for her. As long as she's chasing her passion. As long as she's trying to be the happiest her she can be. I'll support that. That makes me happy.
That's sweet. Okay, so my Papa Dan was out hiking in the woods one day. I don't know why. He liked the woods. He never took a gun. He didn't want to kill anything. He just wanted to see things, be out there. So one day he's walking and out steps a bear, just standing there looking at my grandfather. And Papa Dan doesn't want to run because he knows some bears can run 30 miles per hour,
Wow.
and Papa Dan cannot run 30 miles per hour. So very slowly, he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a jelly donut. Papa Dan loves jelly donuts. And he tore that donut in half as the bear stared at him. And Papa Dan ate half of that jelly donut. And then he tossed the bear the other half, underhand, softly like this. And the bear caught it, and the bear ate it. And the bear made a happy little noise, and the bear walked away. And from that day on, my grandfather carried a jelly donut with him everywhere he went, even to church, because he told me there were very few problems that a jelly donut couldn't get you out of.
So did you bring a jelly donut?
I wish I could use a jelly donut right now.
Be careful, Gracie. Don't go out too far.
She's adorable.
She's at that age where she needs to do everything alone. But I think she knows I'm watching, just in case. I like to bring her here. Where we're from, the water isn't this nice, this clean. Plus, this is where my parents met for the first time.
That's nice.
I mean, they knew each other, sort of. They went to school together, but they never talked. Not until the day they came here and sat on that bench. She thought he was weird. But this was the big day in their lives when crazy things happened. The day that put them both on the path to the lives they would lead from then on. My mother still talks about that day. Know what I mean?
What are your parents' names?
Waldo and Geraldine.
That's a relief. For a moment, I thought
What?
nothing.
Actually, my mother's name isn't really Geraldine.
It's not.
It's Liz.
Can you get me something from the snack bar?
Is everything okay?
A jelly donut would be amazing, but I'd settle for a Coke.
Okay.
What's your father's name?
What do you think?
It's not Waldo.
No.
Tell me.
The name of my father is Carl Flunt.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy for me too.
What are you doing here?
I told you. We like coming here. The water in the future is really bad. But this time, I decided to come on this day.
I'm your mother.
You are.
Can you prove it?
Are we still going to do the scar on the foot thing?
How?
You've told me that story 100 times. Where are they? Are they here?
They're around somewhere. Unless their futures have collapsed. I have no idea how that works. Maybe ask Carl? Except he has no idea that time travel is a thing.
You never do tell him.
What?
Yeah, you didn't want to freak him out.
So, I marry Carl,
You do?
and we have kids.
Well, me. I'm not going to tell you anymore. I want you to be surprised.
Am I happy? I'm not. I never became a writer.
You're a great writer.
So,
It's Dad.
what?
He died 2 days ago in my time. To you, more like 30 years.
He died?
You had just seen a movie called Touching Blue. You were crossing a road to get to where you parked the car. A truck ran a red light. It was going to hit you, but Dad pushed you out of the way.
He saved me from a truck?
He did.
That's insane.
But the truck hit him.
Oh no.
So I came back today, not to tell you anything about your life other than the basics. You are my mother. And on July 27th, 2052, you need to not go see a movie called Touching Blue. Wait to see it on implant.
What's an implant?
You'll just have to be surprised. What's the date you have to remember?
July 27th, 2052.
And the movie.
Touching Blue.
Thank you. You just saved Dad.
And he's happy. He's rich and successful.
Well, we were never rich.
What? But
Yeah, I mean, we did okay. We were never hungry. But you told me that story about your future self wanting to marry him because he was going to be rich. I guess something changed when you married him? Maybe he was with you when he would have been in the lab inventing whatever it was that made him a ton of money. But it doesn't matter, because I can tell you this. For all of my life, up until my father died, you are both happy. So happy.
and that's my granddaughter.
She is.
That's amazing.
And she loves her grandma.
They didn't have any jelly donuts.
Hey, sorry. This is
Michael.
Michael. I'm Beth. This is Carl.
Very happy to meet you.
I always liked the name Michael.
Maybe you'll name one of your kids Nat someday.
Maybe we will.
And do you know what I do then?
I can't wait to hear.
I take my finger and I poke it in the ground. Poke, poke, poke. And I just jam it in there.
You put your finger in the ground.
A row of holes a few inches apart. And then I plant the seeds. Drop one in each hole. And that's a garden. It's a miracle.
How are you me?
Well, sometimes I suck on the finger after.
Ew.
It tastes like life. Well, did you ever stick your finger in a jelly donut and then put your finger in your mouth?
Of course.
It's just like that, but with dirt.
Seriously?
Dirt is God's jelly.
Having no sex makes us weird.
I can't believe you're still here.
Can you believe that Sister Betty has a garden full of flowers and vegetables?
So many cucumbers.
Everything I plant dies.
Sometimes it just takes practice.
I just met our son.
What?
That's wonderful.
I mean, not our son, really, since you two don't have kids. You don't, right?
Heck no.
But he was old, like older than you. And he had a daughter, a pretty little girl. And it's because I married Carl. But what if I don't marry Carl?
Marry Carl. You should see his mansion.
No, in our future, there's no mansion.
What? Then forget it.
I can't forget it. Apparently, I'm happy with Carl, who is sweet, but totally not who I ever saw myself married to. But he dies because he saves me from a truck. But I'm going to save him if I actually marry him. But what if I don't? There's so much responsibility. I mean, in your future, did he seem happy? Married to, what's her name?
Marianne Flugel?
Is he happy with Marianne Flugel?
I don't know. They're rich. Why wouldn't he be happy?
Do they have kids?
No, I don't think so.
So if I let Carl marry Marianne, there's no Michael, no Gracie.
No.
Well, not in that future, but maybe in the future where you do. Or maybe that future is always real somewhere.
We are still here, and just the fact that I'm talking to a nun version of me who has never existed in the same version of any of my future means that anything is possible.
So don't sweat it. Just be happy. Do you want to date Carl?
I guess I have to.
No, you don't have to do anything. Strip all that away. Think about what you want, what's going to make you happy, and do that. There are a zillion possible versions of your future. A million different kids you could have. A million different cute grandkids. Don't obsess about trying to make it perfect. Just try and make it right. Stick your index finger in the dirt right here.
Oh no, here we go.
You two do it. Now, smell it. Smell the dirt. This is life. This is experience. This is love. Now suck on your finger.
I am not going to suck on my finger.
Suck on your finger. Now go and live your life, Beth. Make good choices, but make your choices. Go.
Are you two going to be okay? What's going to happen?
Well, I suppose I should get the time machine back to Sister Bertha. Satan never sleeps.
You okay?
We're never going to be rich.
Anything's possible.
Tell me what you're going to do.
I'll definitely take the list into consideration. I may talk to Tommy Andrews just to see if there's any chance of a future there.
There's not.
Still, I'm not going to smoke or drink.
Well, you can have a little fun.
Well, sometimes we do the hokey pokey at the convent.
Okay, not that much fun.
But I'm going to try and find a life in which 27-year-old me is truly happy, along with 37-year-old me, 47-year-old me, all of them. And I'm going to write. I'm going to be a writer.
Good for you.
And I'm not going to see Touching Blue in a theater, no matter what future I'm in.
I don't know what that means.
Well, I have to go meet Carl. We're having dinner. He's going to tell me about his microwave thing. We'll see how that goes. But thanks, both of you.
So I guess this is it.
Oh, I'm in no rush. It's time travel. It's not like I'm going to be late. Let's get into trouble.
Like,
Well, do you think any of the guys on this list like older women?
Sister Betty.
Well, provided they are over 18 and have had their shots. You know what they say, what happens in the past stays in the past.
I don't think they say that.
They do now.
How about we just go to a bar?
That sounds like a start. Oh, no hard liquor though. Maybe iced tea?
How about a Long Island iced tea?
Oh, that sounds fancy. Can we go to a place with bikers?
Well, look at you.
Oh, I've still never been kissed.
You want to make some bad choices? I can definitely help with that.
Thank you to everyone for joining us for this production of Carl Flunt Will Protect You from Trucks. And thank you for joining us. We're going to have a short talkback session right now. If you have a question, you can click on the chat button in the lower right-hand portion of the screen and enter your question there. We're joined today by our author, Scott Mullen, who is a longtime Hollywood screenplay analyst and screenwriter, a two-time winner of Amazon Studios' screenwriting contest, and whose thrillers, The Summoning and In Broad Daylight, aired on TV1. His short plays have been performed hundreds of times around the world and there have been more than 1,000 live performances of his shows. I'll kick this talk back off with asking a few questions of Scott and then the cast to give all of you time to think about any questions you might want to ask and type them in the chat. Scott, welcome, and thank you for joining us today. Today we performed a one-act version of Carl Flunt Will Protect You from Trucks, but there's also a full-length version. What inspired you to write another version of this show?
It's interesting. It started out actually as a 10-minute play that was performed a few times out here in LA and up in a theater in Alaska, and they chose it for a competition where every few months you had to write another 10 pages of the play. So I kept submitting 10 more play pages and 10 more pages. And that's what led to this version you just heard. And then I just wanted to explore the situation a little more. So I wrote a few more scenes with Beth and Tommy, where she talks to Tommy, and Beth in another version of her from the future, who's a little more uptight and doesn't want anything changed. And so there is a longer version, and it's fun.
Great. So I have a bit of a leading question for you because there is an IMDb listing for a Scott Mullen who has a screenwriting credit for a project called Touching Blue, which was done in 2015.
Yes.
As a writer, do you deliberately create connections between your different projects?
Sometimes I do, and yeah, that was a script that Amazon optioned that won one of their contests, and I figured someday in the future it'll be a movie, maybe in 30 years. So it's a little Easter egg I threw in the play just to have fun. But yeah, I mean, I write plays, and sometimes I give same last names to characters in different plays, like maybe they're actually related somehow, and yeah.
Great. So tell me a little bit about what your process is and what inspires you as a writer.
That's an interesting question. I mean, I write mostly 10-minute plays, and sometimes I will be just inspired by there are theaters that will put out calls for plays, but they'll want a specific prop or two props or a bunch of words, and that kind of sends me in some direction where I can just come up with an idea, and so I write it, and sometimes they are good plays and sometimes they are not particularly good plays, but you know, it's fun writing them, and I've written a couple of hundred short plays, so I enjoy doing it.
Great. Well, I'm going to give Scott a little bit of a break for the moment and turn to the cast. So we've been coming up now on a year of being mostly unable to gather in person for theater, and a lot of us have turned to online performing, which has helped us gain some new skills. And we've talked as a group about the difficulties with this as a medium, but I want to ask the cast if they would volunteer what is something they enjoy about this as a performance opportunity. And I'll tell you that to start us off, I appreciate being able to cast people who might not be able to do a live and in-person performance. For those of you watching from home, we have 4 of us here in Massachusetts. We have an actor in New Hampshire, and we have 1 in Wisconsin. And of course, Scott is joining us from California. So what do you guys enjoy about online performing?
Well, for me, the main one is, like you just said, I've been able to work with some people that I never would have had the chance to because they're just not in my neighborhood. So I've actually expanded my network. That's a nice aspect.
I think it's cool to be able to focus really just on the character since you're not worried about blocking or anything like that. It's really just about the words on the page. That's kind of a different approach to acting. That's been really cool.
Yeah, not having to memorize lines is pretty good.
Not having to go anywhere, not having to work that into your schedule because you got to work in your job, and then you got to. So makes things a little easier, at least that way.
It's also a cool experiment because it's like this weird like halfway point between theater and film. So like things that wouldn't work on either side would work here, so to speak. So it has like a different kind of element.
It's like the old radio dramas back in the day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great. So I'm going to open up to some of the questions coming in on the chat. I have one is for Scott. As someone has asked, do you have specific types of actors in mind when you write plays?
Sometimes I do. I'm with a theater company I write plays for, and I also have a screenwriting group where we have actors reading pages. And both of those groups are very heavily female. So I started writing a lot of female characters just because there tend to be more actresses than actors out there in the world anyway, especially in theater. So, and it's really kind of, I enjoy doing it. But yes, I specifically have written inspired by a lot of people that I know will be reading it in the meeting that week. So absolutely. Yeah.
Great. Tell me a little bit about what are some of the major themes in your writing? I've talked to you a little bit about, you know, you tend to like time travel or sort of the sci-fi element of things.
Yeah, I tend to like a weird little thing that I can build around, but then I tend to also make it about character and about, I tend to be a romantic, so there tends to be kind of romance in this thing, and things kind of tend to work out, except in the plays when they don't. But yeah, it's there tends to be a lot of banter. There tends to be a lot of nervous rambling. I don't know if that's a theme, but nervous rambling. And just trying to, you know, just tell human stories about characters. Mostly, I read a lot of plays where people meeting for the first time, kind of getting to know each other and sort of defying expectations about each other, like learning unexpected things about each other, things like that.
Great. Another question from the audience. What sources do you draw from when writing plays?
Just weird imagination. I mean, it's funny. I gave that speech to Beth about how there's another version of her somewhere who's a writer who's sending ideas, because sometimes I'll write something I have no idea where it comes from, and I'll just sit down and just start typing and fall into the characters, and then a story emerges and characters talk to me and they tell me their own stories. So it's very strange, but good.
Another question, Scott, does it often happen when an actor's interpretation of your lines is very different than what you meant when you were writing the line?
Sometimes. I mean, it's interesting for me, this whole Zoom thing, because I get to see performances around the country that I never would have seen because I don't travel a lot. I'll drive maybe 30 miles tops to see a play. So it's nice, and it's also nice to kind of sit back and just watch something where you don't know anybody and you've never given a note on the play, and just to see how they interpret it. And oftentimes I will discover things I didn't really think about through how somebody says a line or how somebody does something. So it's normally good. I haven't had experiences where it was just sort of, what are they doing kind of thing. It's more just, it's interesting to see what people get out of a character.
Great. Looks like that's about it. If anybody has any other questions from the chat. Oh, I got one for the actors. For you guys, was it intimidating knowing that the writer would be there to hear you read the work?
I'll say no, because I did have the script in front of me, so I knew I wasn't going to mess up.
Yeah.
I think it's more fun than intimidating. You hope you do something slightly different from anybody else, but who knows?
I didn't find it intimidating. The only real thing I had was whenever I said a line differently than it was written, I'd be like, oh God, the writer's going to hear that and be like, all right, you got my script wrong.
I tend to be very easy. I'm not very, I'm not one of these guys going, they left out a word there, or they stumbled, no, it's all theater.
It's always good to be that sort of writer. I also write, and I will say from my perspective that when I see my stuff performed, if somebody changes some of the language, I often sometimes think like, well, that's a better way to say that line. Maybe I'll fix that. And I've never really gotten over the thrill of actually seeing other people say words I've written. I don't know if that ever goes away.
Oh,
Are you still at
absolutely,
that point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you all did a great job, so I'm very happy. So yeah.
So final question, Scott, any upcoming projects you want to mention?
No, again, I mean, I have the full-length version of this that I'm hoping to get performed. It's a little weird now with the whole pandemic thing, but hopefully theater will come back by the end of this year, hopefully. I have a collection of plays set in an airport that might be done in Ohio this year, pandemic allowing. So, and then meanwhile, I'm just writing a lot of stuff, and I have a bunch of published plays for teenagers that are being done all over. So it's all good.
Great.
Cool.
Well, I'll tell the audience watching at home, you can find Scott on New Play Exchange. You can also find him on Facebook, where he publicizes a lot of the things that he's doing. We're going to wrap it up, and I just want to thank everyone for tuning in for this show and staying for our talk back. Scott, thank you for such a wonderful script and the chance to direct another one of your shows. I really appreciate that. And a very special thank you to my incredibly talented cast. You guys have created wonderful characters and I think really brought this script to life. Please join the Intermittent Theater Company again for Women in Wallace coming up February 20th and 21st, and Dramatic Pause on March 27th and 28th. Thank you again for coming, and have a great afternoon.